Listen, I'm more than likely not even gonna show this to anybody. But I'm gonna start documenting my spiritual journey for myself, and I gotta start talking to myself because I feel like everybody around me is a fucking robot, and not saying a robot as in they're actually fucking robots, ding ding dong, um, boop bop beep beep. No, I mean that everybody around me is stuck in a matrix, and everybody around me is stuck in a mindset where they just care about shit that'll never matter, and they don't even see the shit. Like, like a lot of your friends are not real people. Yeah, they have flesh. Yeah, they respond to you when you speak, but a lot of people are just stuck in a reality where they can't even see that they're more than who they are. And I'm not gonna say I'm better than anybody because that's how I felt my whole life. I always felt like I was better than people. I always felt like I was unstoppable, and I was fucking. I was a higher. I was on a higher frequency than a lot of people. I had to realize life is life is not just about me, and God put people in your life to either be a lesson or to take your energy and drain it and then move on with their life. You ever feel like you came up with an idea or you told somebody about something you got going on and they dismissed it or they didn't even give you the time of day to even talk about it or acknowledge that you were actually smart enough to come up with something and then you see them doing it? Yeah, that's been a story my whole life. That has been my story my whole life. Like, I'm not gonna say like I'm a creator. I am. See, fucking noises are coming out of nowhere and shit. Yeah, those are energies watching. Anyway, I always felt like I can come up. Well, I can't. Yeah, I can come up with ideas, but I can take somebody else's idea as motivation and make it my own, or expand from it, or just or be intuitive to it. I can't really find the words. I was never a person to really know how to express myself for real, but I always knew myself. Yeah, I done took a lot of people's ideas and made it better or made it my own. And I never capitalized off it how I was supposed to. And I always seen other people do it. And it always it never sat right with me because I know I'm smarter than you. Well, yeah, I know I'm smarter than you. I know that a lot of people doing my ideas or capitalizing off my ideas, they're not smarter than me. A lot of people are fucking parasites. And parasites as in they can't create their own lanes or they can't create, they can only copy. No, I was never a copier. I was never a follower. I always, if I did copy you, I made it my own copy of a copy. I never fully, I never fully capitalized off of anybody else's ideas without making it my own because I can never, I can never get down with people. I can never mesh with people. I can never, it's like a lot of people that I met in my life, I never got along with. And it was always because I was always on a higher frequency than them and they probably felt so empty in their self, they hated on it. they actually hated on it, and that's why I don't have a lot of friends now. I done did a whole lot for people. My fucking video don't cut off. I done did a whole lot for people, and everybody acts like I'm such a bad guy, or I'm such a slime ball, or I'm this person, and everybody try to make me out to be somebody I'm not. And this shit always hurt me. I'm not gonna lie, it always hurt me. This shit always hurt me. But I had to realize, if... What the fuck is that on my nose? Is that a bugger? I don't know. Anyway, I had to realize who the fuck I was as a person. A lot of people would never admit that they took inspiration from you, and they took your ideas and capitalized off it. A lot of people that I met and did shit for, it's not like they're doing anything different, or they came up with their own ideas and capitalized off of it like I do. I take ideas, as I said earlier, I take ideas and I make it my own. Or not make it my own, I innovate. I change. I don't copy. I create. And that's why, like, I was always a person that people gravitated to, but a lot of people didn't like me. And it took me a long time to realize that. I just started losing friends out of nowhere. I'm like, what the fuck? Why? What did I do to you? Then again, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not an innocent person. I done did a lot of fucked up shit in my life, but that was the low vibrational physical plane. I had never realized how much of a divine spirit I was, and that's why I fell victim to social media and all the shit that would never matter in life. I always chased the shit that would never matter. And God is not going to let you self-destruct. God is never going to let you self-destruct. If something's not meant for you to do, or something's not for you, he will not show you the end goal. He will not put an end goal in your brain, or he will not let you see it. And I'm not even gonna lie, a lot of shit that I did, I was supposed to be in a way better position than I am now. And I had to realize that it was never me. I'm not the problem. It was God holding that shit back from me, because it's not my higher purpose. It was never my higher purpose. God is not going to give you things that you don't deserve. And I'm not going to say I didn't deserve it, but if it's not for you, it's not for you. Even me talking to the screen right now, this is some shit I never did. I would never expect me to do. But it's like I don't even know if I'm going to show this to anybody for real. It's like, who cares? And another thing, I always doubted myself. Even though I portrayed an image that I was unstoppable and nobody can fuck with me, I deep down inside, I always doubted myself. And I never knew why. I always would go up and then go down. Go up and go down. I would never go past a certain point. I would never go past a certain point. And the shit that I really actually wanted, I never got it. But everybody that came in my life and stripped my ideas from me, they got what they wanted. But at the end of the day, nothing's gonna matter in life. And I'm not saying that as in to say nothing's gonna matter. I'm saying that as in they're still empty souls. These people are empty souls that are trying to impress everybody else but themselves. And I had to go through that same experience to realize that these people can have all the clothes, the jewelry, the cars, the houses, and they will still be empty inside because they would never know themselves. They would never know their spirit. It just won't work. It won't work. And then again, God puts people in your life for a lot of reasons, and I never seen it. I used to think everybody was on my side, everybody was my friend. I used to think I used to think I could change people's lives, which I did, but you can't change a person. You can't change who they are. You can't change how they think. You can't change how they treat people. And it's not my job to teach anybody how to be a person or how to spiritually tap into themselves to realize their higher purpose. And again, I am not better than anybody in this world. I'm not better than anybody. But I can say that I always knew that I was a little bit different than people. A lot of parasites will come in your life, take your energy, and you won't even realize it. And that's been happening to me my whole life. Well, not my whole life. I would say since I was probably 14. 14 up until now, 21 now, about to be 22. A lot of people have capitalized off of a lot of shit that I have came up with. And guess who hasn't? Me. I've never, I haven't capitalized off of nothing. Well, I have, but I never made a plan to get to my end goal. And I never had an end goal. Didn't even realize I never had an end goal. I had to lose a lot of shit to really tap into who the fuck I really was. And social media will really trap your brain into thinking that you need a lot of shit or you need this, that, and the third to be better than people when you will never be better than anybody. Everybody is stuck in a fucking time loop that is made to destroy us. It's made to destroy us. Literally. Because you got to think about it. When you die, do they bury you in your car? Do they bury you in your jewelry? No, not unless you're fucking Drake or Michael Jackson. That shit is not coming with you. This fucking shell that we're in, we will never understand it for real, because that's how we're programmed. That's why you have to feed your soul. You have to tap into your soul, your higher purpose. And I had to realize a lot of shit that I was doing, it never worked for me because it's not for me. I sit there and try to have conversations with people that I chill with every day. And I try to teach them or try to help them understand themselves. And it's just like a lot of people don't want to. A lot of people don't want to know who they really are because it's scary. You got to admit it. It's actually scary. A lot of people are just on autopilot and just go. But nobody would stop. And nobody would stop and think. Nobody would test their ego or talk to their ego or or test themselves because they're only doing what they're taught. A lot of people are only doing what they're taught, especially females. Females are the key to life. They are Females hold a higher purpose. Without females, there would be no us. There would be no me. Without a female, and females are so stuck on the shit that doesn't matter. A lot of females, more than a lot, will never really tap into themselves and realize that they are just that. They are. And I can't even explain it for real because it's just I'm still breaking free from my brain and this physical plane right here. So it's like as the time goes on, I'll be able to explain myself a little bit more. And then even just talking to the screen right now, it feels kind of surreal because I never did no shit like this before. So it's kind of hard. But a lot of females are stuck in trying to be better than the next one, or trying to look better than the next one, or just trying to one up. A lot of females get into problems with their friends because of jealousy, and it's not even really jealousy. It's not. Jealousy is just a fucking word on the physical plane. It's really their spirits and parasites. It eats them alive and it gives them an ego. Oh, I have to do this. I have to get a BBL. I have to fix my titties. I have to do this. I have to get an apartment because this girl has it. And I'm not going to be that bitch if I don't have this stuff. And a lot of females will never even realize that a lot of men don't really care about that shit. You got to think about it. In the old days, men were protecting and providing. So it was like, you would never even have that shit without a man. But nowadays, females want to be the man of the relationship. And I feel like that's where everything done went wrong at. But then again, it's not even their fault because it's what they were fed. It's what they know. It's what they understand. Even the girl that I'm dealing with now, I never even realized that I'm not going to call her a parasite, but I'm going to say that she's a perfect example of not being comfortable in her own skin. You can have a lot of stuff. You can have this. You can have a BBL. Ass could be fatter than fucking 2 watermelons. And you will not feel complete inside. You will never feel complete inside. A lot of men, they can have jewelry. They can have the fastest car on the fucking street. A big ass crib. Why do you think these celebrities get depressed? Because it's not fulfilling. It's not fulfilling. They're not serving their higher purpose. They're serving social media. They're serving social norms. And we will really let people who don't even know themselves tell us who we are. How the fuck does that work? How does that work? And I feel like I feel like life is life is made, well, they done made life to, how can I explain this? They done made life so about materialistic and bullshit that doesn't matter, that you will never feel fulfilled in your life. So you'll be chasing the shit. You'll be chasing shit that doesn't matter until you die, when you really should have been chasing your higher purpose. And I'm gonna be, I don't know my higher purpose yet, but trust me, I'm on the right road to find it. I'm on the right road to find it. And when I do find it, I'm gonna disappear. I'm gonna disappear. I'm not gonna be accessible anymore. I'm not going to. I'm not even gonna fucking. I'm probably not even gonna have a phone, so you won't. You probably won't even be able to call me. But it's like I was chasing so much shit that didn't matter for so long, and I had to lose everything to realize that this shit never even mattered. So it was like, what the fuck? If I didn't break free from this shit, how long would I have been chasing this shit for? How long would I have been chasing nothing for? Scary when you say it. And a lot of people are not going to understand that. Like, and you can't force anybody to understand that either. My job is not to teach. And you will hear this from a lot of people. My job is not to teach. My job is to remind you. You cannot teach a parasite. A parasite is a parasite is an energy eater. So you would think you're teaching somebody something, and no, you're not. They're around to feed off your genuine energy and your divine energy. You would think you're talking to somebody that really has your best interests and is really down to earth. When no, they're not. They're here to take. Parasites cannot create. They can only copy. And that's when I had to realize that. Like I took a step back and realized, like, I asked myself, why is this shit working for everybody else but the person that introduced it to them? Because it's not for me. And I just have to repeat that self. I have to get that shit in my head a little bit more. A lot of shit was not made for me to for me to for me to be on a higher level, because I would never even be on a higher level with that, because I would get all of it, and God knows this, I would get all of it and still not feel fulfilled inside. That's why people go on Instagram and they feel like they have to portray an image. Nobody's themselves anymore. Nobody's their self. And they call people who are actually comfortable in their own shell, because this is just a shell. Feel comfortable in their own shell crazy. They call people insane. They say, "Oh, you're overthinking." When no, everybody's just a fucking robot. And I'm not. And I know it's a lot of people out here that feel the same way as me. And they're just stuck in that time loop. And they're just stuck on bullshit, chasing nothing. Because when you die, what are you gonna fucking do? Work for it all over again in the next life? It's not gonna matter. This is just a shell. So you really have to feed your soul knowledge. So when this shell is done, the shell is withered away, and you go to the next, well, we don't know if, well, I can't even say that for real. I can't even say that. But a lot of people will understand what I'm trying to say without me even having to say it, because divine energy. What can you bring with you but your soul? So what are you really working for? A lot of people are selfish, which I was at one point in time. That's how I know. A lot of people are very arrogant, which I was. That's why I had to figure out, I had to learn that a lot of shit is just a lot of shit and a lot of people, and take arrogance, and which it's okay to be arrogant. You can tell yourself you're that nigga, you're better than people, but meanwhile you're not. You can just say it to make yourself feel a bit more better, because that's how a lot of people feed off their own energy. And I had to realize that arrogance to a lot of people is is they will fear you. They will be scared of you. And they would just play their cards smooth so you would never even notice. Yeah. Yeah. And for all my people who actually know themselves, and all my spiritual people, I don't even want to use the word spiritual. All my people who actually understand life and understand why they were here, you understand what I'm saying. You understand what I'm trying to say. Life is more than all the shit that you are chasing. Life is more than you will ever understand and appreciate. People don't even realize that they could have been born a fucking fish and take advantage of their life. You could have been born an ant. But no, you were born a person that can comprehend me and that has a phone to look and see. You could have been born anything. You could have been born on a different fucking planet for everything. You could have been born anywhere else but here. And you don't even realize that you didn't have to be. God put you here for a reason. God put you here for a reason. And a lot of people, and it's sad to say, will never, ever realize that they are higher beings. People, a lot of the government, they're after our energy. Why do you think we need to go get all these fucking vaccines to work? What the fuck I need to go get a vaccine to work for? Ain't wasn't no vaccines in the early hundreds, in the early 1900s. There was no fucking vaccine. Niggas walking around with HIV, AIDS, all types of shit. But now you need a vaccine to do this and to do that. I don't feel a bit funny to y'all. You need to get this, because they are programming they're programming our energy. They take our blood to see the chosen ones, to differentiate who's a robot and who's not. You know what's so crazy? I've never gotten. I probably got what, the vaccines that you get when you're first born, the tetanus, all the other shit. I didn't get the fucking COVID shot. I didn't get none of that bullshit. And I realized after 2020, 2021, a lot of people are different. A lot of people don't have that same spark or that same energy that they once had after they got that shit. You can't talk to a parasite and feed off their knowledge because they don't have any. You can't talk to a parasite and feel like they're actually listening to you. But they are. They are. They just won't show it. You can't teach a parasite. The more you try to teach them, the more energy you're giving away. The girl I'm dealing with, I try to have deep conversations with her all the time, like about life, about my traumas, and I had to realize, like, whenever I speak about shit like this, it's too easy for her to either dismiss it or go on her phone and scroll on Instagram and find some shit that doesn't matter in life. That's a parasite. They don't want to hear that energy shit. What the fuck? They don't want to hear that shit. They don't want to talk about that. They don't want to have real conversations. You know why? It makes it seem like you're better than them. Meanwhile, you're just trying to speak some knowledge or get some shit off your chest that's really hurting you. Or you're just trying to, or you're trying to uplift her and she doesn't even see it. That's what I try to do. And for a long time, I couldn't even see this shit for real. Then you gotta realize, you gotta see how people talk to you but how they talk to other people. Take that shit and really watch. I done watched a girl go to work, have the dumbest conversations with her coworkers about bullshit, and actually entertain it, and actually laugh. Ah, oh yeah. When it comes to me, real conversation, some shit that's actually gonna test your brain, it's mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Or they make it about themselves. That's not healthy. That's not divine energy. But parasites get along with other parasites. Why you think it's so easy for her to have a conversation for everybody else? But when it comes to you, it's it's about it's a no more than 3 sentence conversation. And I really have to bust my brain and ask myself these words like, is she not attracted to me or am I doing something wrong? No. Real love and real genuine people will always make you feel like you're heard. And even if they can't wrap their head around what they're saying, they'll ask you questions or they'll try to understand. Not her. It's too easy for her to dismiss a real life conversation and go on Instagram and scroll and say, and actually want to talk to me about something shit that does not actually matter in life. The bitch is showing me the fucking what's the girl from Florida? She's showing me the Woo Ladies live and laughing and ha ha kicking and feeding off that negative energy. But when I say, oh no, that's low vibrational shit, She gets mad. When I tell her that shit that she's watching is low vibrational shit, she gets angry. Oh, who do you think you are? A lot of, bro, parasites feed off negative energy. Parasites feed off genuine energy too. They just won't show it. A lot of people are here to steal your energy and just move on to the next host. I'm not gonna be that no more. I can't be anybody's energy hub. I can't be your I can't be anybody's fucking controller. I can't be your PlayStation. I can't. I know who I am. I had to like and I always knew. I always felt deep down inside that I was different. Because I never really wanted to entertain shit that didn't benefit me. I always spoke life into people. I always got people out of situations or slumps that they was in. And nobody ever did that for me. That's how I know I was different. Even the people I don't talk to now, they would tell you, oh no. They would tell, or some haters won't, but they'll tell you, oh no, he done spoke some real life motivation into me. I just can't, I just couldn't, I couldn't deal with this that he did, or I couldn't be his friend because of this. And it'll always be some bullshit. It'll always be some bullshit that doesn't even matter. It'll always be. You could ask a lot of people why they're not my friend. All my old friends, you could ask them why they're not my friend right now, and they would tell you the dumbest reason. It's either about some money, or it's either about a female. But meanwhile, I done gave these niggas lanes to feed their family. But then you had to realize that I was too much a divine energy to be these people's friends. My energy was just too intense. I was never a person to hold my tongue or try to please anybody. That's another reason I don't have any friends. I tell people about themselves. I'm quick to tell you, and that was one of my issues too, because a lot of people can't take. I'm quick to tell you your flaws, and I'm quick to read somebody. I can read somebody within 10 minutes of having a conversation with them. I can tell you, oh, I can tell you that's your friend. I can tell you that's a parasite. I can tell you, nah, he's not with you. I know your character within 10 minutes of speaking to you. It is a gift, but it is also a curse. Because look, I have no friends. But guess what? I'm not a person that's supposed to have any friends. I honestly don't give a fuck. I honestly don't care. Like, I honestly don't care because a lot of people aren't even real flesh and blood. A lot of people are robots. A lot of people. A lot of people are robots. Stuck in a matrix. I'm not the one. I'm not so fucking different from everybody that I can't understand why people are robots, and I can't understand. No. I had to be a robot myself to understand that I was. I had to be stuck chasing shit that doesn't matter myself to realize it doesn't matter. But a lot of people will never realize what they're chasing doesn't matter. A lot of people. And a lot of people are going to die robots. And it's sad to say, but it's like, it's you can't even, who can you be mad at but the world? But the government feeding us this negative energy and this negative shit. The food we eat isn't even fucking real. You ever go to a different fucking country and taste the food and be like, what the fuck? This shit don't taste like what it tastes like in the United States. Even the KFC. Even the KFC in other fucking states don't even taste like the shit over here because it's fake. Why would they want us to live long? In the Bible, they said man should live 120 years. We not making it past 40. Niggas is catching heart attacks at 28. What the fuck? Niggas catching heart attacks at 28. Not making it past 50 years old. High blood pressure. Diabetes. This, that, and the third. Why would any of that exist if the food we're eating was so good for us? And that's another thing I'm about to start doing. I'm about to stop eating meat. Because it's like, we know that these people are putting fucking steroids and different shit in the chicken and the other and to make it bigger. Like, come on, bro. Ain't that much fucking chickens in the world. Ain't that much chickens in the world for a KFC, nigga. They put something in that shit. You ever go to a fucking different country and the chicken leg is smaller? Chicken's small as shit. But over here, it's a big ass wing. And we just don't even ask. We don't. Well, people do, but we don't even ask these questions. We don't even question the government. We're just fucking so stuck in a robotic trance and shit that we're taught that the shit just passes our brain because we're brainwashed. Listen, man. This is my first time doing this. I might start doing this a little bit more. This is Gleesh. Deuces.